Welcome to Theme Park Universe, and it is Friday. That's right. And you know what that means? That means it's Theme Park Food at Home Day, which I love this day because, hey, we get to have some delicious treats at home that we remember from the park. But it's still Star Wars season. And this year we kicked off the month with May the 4th, where we made the regular Ronto wraps. And this year, the month ends with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie in theater, and I can't wait to go check that out. But we are absolutely enjoying a galaxy far, far away all month. And today we're back making the breakfast version of the iconic Ronto wrap, found at Ronto's Roasters in Galaxy's Edge, the awesome Star Wars land in Disneyland. But before we jump in, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. And hey, let's celebrate Star Wars. All right, here we go. Ingredients list for the Ronto breakfast wraps. That's right, we made the regular Ronto wraps. Now we're making the breakfast wraps. All right, so first off, you're going to need some pitas. Now, these are the pitas we used for the Ronto wraps, and I thought they turned out perfect. They tasted like the ones in the park. So this is the ones that we're going with here. Of course, you're going to need some bowls. You're going to need some cheddar cheese. We'll shred that up. We're going to need some eggs. We'll scramble up some eggs. Now, sausage-wise, I went with these sausage this time. It's not the right sausages. I kind of wish I would have grabbed the ones we grabbed last time. The ones we grabbed last time, the linguica, from what I was told, that's what they use in the park. We should have used that this time. They were perfect. They were perfect, and they do use the same sausages in the park, whether it is the breakfast ones or just the regular Ronto wraps. So definitely pick up the linguica. I'll probably do that next time I make these ones. But we are going to have to make a peppercorn sauce again, like we did last time. So for that, we're going to need some mayo. We're going to need some sumac. This can be kind of hard to find. I got it at World Market. Some apple cider vinegar. This apple cider vinegar is not that great. It's kind of a cheap one. I'd suggest spend a little more on the apple cider vinegar, getting some better apple cider vinegar. We also have some ground coriander. And then, of course, salt. And it's peppercorn sauce. So you're going to need some peppercorn. So we got our peppercorns there. All right, we'll go ahead and jump forward now and get started on this peppercorn sauce. All right, let's get going on that peppercorn sauce. We got our ingredients here. One thing I forgot about is lime juice. We are going to need some lime juice. And we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to kind of cheat here. We're going to use a scale instead of a measuring cup. I'll put the recipe up here on the screen. The ingredients and everything you're going to need to make this peppercorn sauce. This is the peppercorn sauce they use in the park. So this is exactly what you want to do so you come out with the correct peppercorn sauce. But we're going to kind of use that hack. Instead of using measuring cup, we're going to use weight here. So we're going to half the recipe. So we need a half a cup of mayonnaise. So 1 tablespoon would be 15 grams. So we need 8 tablespoons. So we need 120 grams here. So we'll go ahead and get that opened up. So let's go ahead and we'll clear this out. It's on grams, so we'll keep going until we got 120 removed. All right. We're getting kind of low here. Hopefully we have enough. Perfect. All right, 120. We got that. Now we're going to go with our dry ingredients, which I already put those in a bowl here. So in this bowl, we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, coarse salt that is, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground sumac, and an 1/8 teaspoon of ground coriander. We'll go ahead and get all that in there. Make sure there's none stuck in the little bowl here. Get that all in. All right, so next we're going to move on to the lime juice. So like I said, we're halving. So instead of a full tablespoon, we'll go ahead and do a 1/2 tablespoon. That's good. Perfect. Moving on, same with the apple cider vinegar. We're going to do a 1/2 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. Try not to spill it. That looks pretty good there. Yeah, definitely going to get a better apple cider vinegar for in the future. This one's kind of cheap. It isn't the best. It isn't the best. All right, and the last ingredient we need is it calls for 1/8 a teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorns. We have regular peppercorns here. I don't know what the difference is, but this is what we're going to use here. So we'll go ahead, mix that in. I think that's a good amount there. Now we just got to mix this up, combine all those ingredients so they all come together. Make sure we get all those spices off of the side of the container. Make sure we mix those in. All right, so we're going to mix this up real good. I'll give it a taste here in a moment once we get everything incorporated. It looks like a peppercorn sauce. All right. Tastes really good. Tastes really good. That is perfect. All right, so what we're going to do with this, we're going to go ahead and get a lid on this. We'll put it in the fridge, and that's ready to go until it's time for our building our Ronto wraps. The sausages, I am going to throw them on the grill. I'm going to grill up those sausages. We'll toast the pitas. We'll get our eggs cooked, and then we'll be back. All right, we are back to build. We got our pita there warming up. Let's go ahead and take that off of the heat. We got a nice little cook there on that. All right, let's start building. So first off, we need our peppercorn sauce. We'll put a nice dab of that, spread that around, make sure we get and that's like actually kind of a lot there, but all right, there we go. We got our peppercorn sauce. Next up, we got our scrambled eggs. Now, when they first came out with these breakfast ones, they actually they actually used patties. They used egg patties. They did switch to scrambled eggs at some point, which much better. The scrambled egg ones are much better. I think that was a good move there in Disneyland. All right, so that's quite a bit of egg there. We got quite a bit of egg. Next up, the star of the show, kinda, I guess, maybe. It's a sausage. It's a sausage. Now, I went with these ones because I thought that they looked like they might be a little bit smaller. These ended up being way bigger than the ones we used before. I think the ones we used before, I'll put those up on the screen here again. These are the sausages you're going to want to go with. But we got our shredded cheese here. And they put a lot of shredded cheese on these. They do put a lot of shredded cheddar. All right, so we got our shredded cheddar. And of course, you can't have a Ronto wrap without a Tatooine sunset. So let's get that going here. All right, and we do have a recipe for the Tatooine sunset. I will stir that up, and I'll put that at the end of this video, along with the standard Ronto wrap. This is the breakfast one we're trying here today. All right, well, I mean, it looks really good. It looks really good. The sausage is definitely not exactly right. All right, let me actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's cut this thing in half so I can get a good bite here. We'll cut it in half so I get a little bit of everything, that peppercorn sauce and everything. All right, cheers, theme park universe. It's definitely messy. Oh, we lost the sausage there. Definitely messy. A lot messier than the standard Ronto wrap, but sausage-wise, go with the linguica. Go with the linguica. This is still really good, but the linguica, it does have a better taste. I think in the park, the breakfast ones and the lunch and dinner ones are exactly the same sausage, so we should have went with that. This is still really good, though. I'm going to have a drink of the Tatooine sunset. Cheers, theme park you. Oh, that's good. That is so good. All right, well, there you have it, the breakfast Ronto wrap. Hey, this was a super, super easy one. I definitely suggest giving it a shot at home. Also, do me a favor, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button. If you want to see the recipes for the Tatooine sunset and the standard Ronto wrap, they'll be right here. Theme Park Universe, out.